Wrestlemania and mainstream music have a long history together, starting all the way back to Wrestlemania 1. Since then, WWE fans have been treated to a variety of musical performances and the intermingling between the music world and the wrestling world, including America the Beautiful with the likes of great names like Aretha Franklin singing it in, live entrance theme performances from the likes of Limp Bizkit and Motorhead and Living Colour, and the official theme songs with names like Saliva, The Weeknd, and Limp Bizkit again. While they really love Fred Durst around here. There was even a WrestleMania Rage party prior to WrestleMania 15 at the height of the Attitude Era, which featured a little rage to it, but more partying, and had performances from the likes of Isaac Hayes. Yeah, who was cool, but not exactly the name associated with Rage. Now in 2025, we have this. A musician, a very popular one, more specifically Travis Scott, hanging around WWE's main event scene and having a formidable role within it, with his actions having real impacts on the state of things at the top of the card on one of the biggest shows of the year. He really did just walk out to WrestleMania. He took his time getting to the ring and changed the direction of the biggest match of the year. Fans were not particularly pleased about that. We're going to dive deep into this issue with Travis Scott in the WWE. I'm Kevin Kellum, you're watching Sportskeeda Wrestling, and here's the real reason why WWE fans hate Travis Scott right now. Let's form a little mosh pit in the comments. Tell us who you would rather see in a WWE celebrity role over Travis Scott, or maybe you're into Travis Scott. Sound off, let us know what you think, and hit the like button. You've watched this video that long and you haven't hit that button? Also, hit the subscribe button. We're pushing towards 200,000 subscribers. Thank you. We appreciate it greatly. Travis Scott, for those of you who don't know, is a hyper-popular rapper who gets around 66 million listeners every month on Spotify alone. His notable hits include 2018's Sicko Mode, his 2023 track Fiend was used as a theme song for WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas. In the music world, Travis Scott is an undeniably big deal. So much so that WWE wants a piece of the action. Collaborating with Scott for the recent Cactus Jack merch line has been really successful, which includes, these very specific WWE logos. It's an official replica of a fake WWE Hardcore Championship that Scott has carried with him during his appearances with the company and beyond. Scott was involved in the build to WrestleMania 41 and was present in the ring for John Cena's shocking heel turn on Cody Rhodes at Elimination Chamber 2025 with this other guy named The Rock. But before we get a few licks in on the American Nightmare for himself, this is where the problems start. Yeah, Scott's inexperience in that situation presented itself in the segment with some would call it a botch, but he's not a wrestler. Yeah, he was making some real connection on his blows on Cody Rhodes, who was in a legitimately prone position, and some claim that he injured the American Nightmare's eardrum, potentially jeopardizing the biggest match of the year on the biggest show of the year. Yeah, obviously, word of that gets out online, and then people are really starting to mount up their denial of Travis Scott on their wrestling show. It didn't make sense for Travis Scott, who came out with The Rock, to even be in the ring in the eyes of many. He had no storyline connection to anyone. He had never gotten involved with WWE in any sort of physical capacity in the past, and yet here he was, front and center, for the most important heel turn in recent history. Now, me specifically, I was there for it. It was a big deal when he came out. Fans reacted to it, yet they still claim online he had no reason for being there, and fans knew that working out so quickly with him in this role was a ploy to get as many fans as possible to tune in and watch the next big moment. It doesn't take a genius like Lanny Poffo to figure out what WWE was going for. Casual eyeballs on what they were doing with so many hardcore fans already invested. Maybe it wasn't a great start for Mr. Scott, not one from Star Trek. No, this is a different Scott. Yeah, Scotty beamed this guy up in the eyes of some fans who had been established with WWE fans as a nonsensical, unprepared, potentially dangerous celebrity cameo. You can see what WWE was trying to do, replicate the success of crossovers they've had with Cyndi Lauper and Iron Mike Tyson and Johnny Knoxville and Lawrence Taylor and Pat McAfee, even Bad Bunny or Logan Paul. It has been a winning formula in the past, and for WWE to go back to it for WrestleMania makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense whether you want it to make sense or not. Because from a visual standpoint, they had more of a RoboCop in WCW, yeah, look that one up, or a Kiss in WCW, or a Megadeth in WCW, or a Chucky in WCW with a lot more eyes on it. Those are all things you should Google. Although Chucky would redeem himself first by showing up with Braun Breaker on WWE NXT 2.0 and then skewering Liv Morgan on the USA Network Chucky show. Seeing that at best a mixed fan reaction to Travis Scott's involvement in the big angle, a huge angle by the way, WWE decided to double down on the fake hardcore champion by getting him involved in the actual main event between Cody Rhodes and John Cena on night 2 of WrestleMania 41 for the undisputed WWE Championship, with the history-making, record-breaking implications for John Cena to become the all-time highest-ranking WWE champion with a 17th world title. This was a lot. He would beat Ric Flair, woo, and become the guy. Yeah, as huge and as history-making of a spectacle this match was going to be, music hit and Travis Scott was making his way to the ring. The fans booed, and Cody Rhodes gave him a crossroads for his trouble and attempted interference. Still, the distraction proved effective enough for Cena to take advantage and sleaze his way to 17 and take the title from Cody Rhodes. It definitely would have made more sense if another bad guy who's very popular, who has a rooted real estate in the eyes of many wrestling fans, millions and millions of wrestling fans, The Rock would have shown up in Las Vegas for WrestleMania weekend. Had he come out as a distraction instead, it just felt like maybe that's more of what fans were expecting, maybe what more fans wanted. And it seemed like Scott was the stand-in because The Rock wasn't going to be there for whatever reason. Perhaps people would have responded more kindly to Travis Scott being a part of the main event if The Rock was there and he's playing a supporting role to The Rock. They still would have liked it at least a little bit more. It still would have made at least a little bit more sense to build off what happened in Elimination Chamber. Hollywood final boss Rock bringing out his celebrity friends just to, I don't know, rub his celebrity status on WWE superstars and fans would, really stir the pot. Even as fans aren't fussed up on what is actually going to happen with a celebrity, it doesn't seem like something that could logically happen. The way it happened ended up feeling like maybe some type of commercial for Travis Scott, his merch, his music, right in the middle of WWE's biggest match of 2025. As we mentioned at the top of this video, it's understood that Travis Scott is a big deal, but a musician's cameo appearance shouldn't have that much influence over one of the biggest angles of all time. WWE fans don't want to take kindly to a crossover star in a high-profile position. They soured on Ronda Rousey doing this, and they even boo Logan Paul, who arguably is a very good pro wrestler. Once again, whether you like it or not, he's holding that down bell to bell. He looks the part. He does good on camera work to reinforce his heel persona. His work in the ring holds up, and he clearly has some respect for the craft of professional wrestling, and might have something to do with some of his real-life controversial things and him trying to gain some type of credibility back as an athletic entertainer. Travis Scott is not without his own real-life scandals, and they may indeed be affecting the people's opinion of him in WWE, but that's a whole other video. From a purely professional wrestling perspective, we are a wrestling channel, that's our perspective. The fan anger seems to be the fact that Scott has been crammed into the John Cena heel turn, despite having no experience in the wrestling business. And his mishap with Cody Rhodes and the whole eardrum rupture Elimination Chamber, here he was back at Mania. When another rapper in Bad Bunny appeared at WrestleMania, he teamed up with Damian Priest to defeat The Miz and John Morrison and exceeded expectations. Then he entered the 2022 Men's Royal Rumble as a surprise entrant and took on Damian Priest in his homeland of Puerto Rico in San Juan Street Fight for the Ages at Backlash of that same year. Bad Bunny was victorious in 2 of his 3 WWE matches over some time and worked well with WWE fans and appeared more willing to be accepted by fans, probably because Bad Bunny was assisted in some of his victories over active WWE talents while impressing in the ring in limited capacities where he could deliver and do it well. Wasn't forced too high on the card and was involved in upper mid-card angles and complemented the talent that would be there when he wasn't. Didn't detract, he added to the importance of main event angles, especially at Backlash, where he was the draw in Puerto Rico. He meant a lot on that show. He also had the advantage of having that gigantic hometown pop at Backlash. It is one for the ages. Him walking out to the ring is astronomical. He also did a song called Booker T, which he performed standing next to Booker T. Who doesn't love Booker T? Five time. Anyway, the rumors are to be believed Travis Scott could be getting a chance to prove himself in the ring with a legitimate match in the future. And if that does happen, who knows how exactly that goes down as we record this. Possibly Travis Scott could do what Logan Paul and Bad Bunny did and, file into that I hate him, but he's good at his type of celebrity role thing and pulls it off. Or he could be made to be more entertaining of a celebrity like a Bad Bunny in WWE. Maybe he uses John Cena's Weasley little tag team partner role and pulls out the occasional surprise here and there, or as the unprepared third member of the team of Cena with The Rock. Yeah, is that something we're going to see at SummerSlam this year? But please don't have him pin Cody Rhodes or CM Punk or Jey Uso or LA Knight or any of the promising good guys who are fighting week to week, Raw to Raw, SmackDown to SmackDown for WWE, while part-time John Cena struts around with his title, breaking our hearts and hanging out with these celebrities in the VIP section. But if Travis Scott does do that thing, there better be a good reason for it. Not just the, hey, go buy some Cactus Jack shoes that Travis Scott likes, lol. And don't have him pin John Cena or The Rock somehow either. Goes without saying, but we're gonna say it anyway. But maybe, just maybe, if Travis Scott gets into the ring and proves himself, as Bad Bunny did and others have, he might win over some WWE fans, or at least make them love him or hate him, or maybe hating and loving is a part of the idea. Yeah, fans aren't certainly quiet when he got out to the ring. If they were quiet, that would be worst. That'd be the worst thing you could think of. Or WWE could do a WWE type thing and keep having Travis Scott appear randomly at important storyline moments, with his actions having massive implications and consequences on the world title scene. For no reason other than he's famous for rapping, and he's very famous for that. He's got a merch deal with WWE, and it's interesting, and the merch does look cool. Of course, it could be a big ruse by WWE to subtly reinforce the idea that WWE's Hardcore Championship is a part of the lineup, which they may be alluding to since Scott first appeared with the belt on Raw's Netflix debut back in January of 2025. Are we going to see him in a hardcore match for the Hardcore Championship that isn't fake, but initially proved quite popular once it was given a replica redesign with him and the whole merch line? Yeah, if it does end up leading to a new Hardcore Championship, wrestling fans will probably look back saying, WWE, you sly dogs, look what you did there. Let's powerbomb someone through a table. We all know how beloved the Hardcore Championship was. We hold it in our hearts and we slam it with a steel chair. Yeah. WWE tried to make the modern version of that with the 24/7 championship in the late 2010s. It sucked. They tried, but it sucked. We've got a whole video on the subject of where that championship went and all the places it went that it didn't need to go. But if it didn't happen properly, the Travis Scott slowly being reintroduced with a new, more authentic revival in WWE with the Hardcore Championship could be one of the coolest pieces of fan service the company could craft in the past few years. It might warm WWE fans to Travis Scott's presence in WWE, and maybe if he's the champion who has the title and people are chasing him, that is a celebrity involvement that is meaningful, especially if he only pops up now and then. We'll continue this fantasy booking of Travis Scott as a hardcore champion. Maybe he has that 24/7 rule. Eventually someone dethrones him in a big chaotic way, presumably leading to a slew of preceding champions, all with multiple reigns. If the previous version of the belt was anything to go by, that's something they could go with again. And if you're thinking this all sounds way too good to be true, that's probably because it is. WWE is likely going to do something you expect and still make a ridiculous profit from it, possibly with a certain level of creativity that maybe you do or do not approve of. But hey, we can dream, can't we? Yes, and that's for another video. What do you think of Travis Scott in WWE? Do you think he's done, or are we set to see more of him in the future? Are there plans for his Hardcore Championship? Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Do you want to see more celebrities from Hollywood and music pop into WWE? And if so, who are those people? Give us some fantasy booking. I would love to hear it. And don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to Sportskeeda Wrestling and get us to 200,000 subscribers right here on YouTube. Why not enable those notifications so you know exactly when we drop videos just like this? Check out all the other videos we got on our channel if you haven't watched them yet.